on. What's going on here? Okay. That's why. Okay. Oh. Do 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 do. One of them days. I will say though, I'm being serious. I don't know how this game is not more popular. Actually, let me
stand up.
make a little. There we go.
All right, sir, can you hear me okay?
Ma'am, good afternoon.
All right, good afternoon. This is 252312 and 252313, the People versus James
go.
Payne.
I just forgot how to do that.
Honor. James Gizicki on behalf of Mr. Payne, waive reading of the complaint, stand mute. Yeah, this is kind of bizarre complaint. He's charged with allowing somebody to drive a car and operating while intoxicated all at the same time. And also the vehicle he was driving.
All right, here we go.
parked in the gas station.
Enough.
So,
Shut
I don't
up.
know what the facts are that we support these charges, but the probability of a conviction, I think, would be slim, so.
Go for it.
I'm asking for a discovery order.
Damn it.
And a
Follow
personal
spirit,
bond.
strange object.
Okay.
Come
sir,
upon a
did you go
restless
over your
spirit.
Constitutional rights
Wonderful.
with your attorney that are outlined on this advice of rights form?
Yes, I did.
And Mr. Payne, did you understand your rights?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and did you give your attorney permission to sign your name on
Oh,
that
shit.
form?
Yes, I did.
All right, I've entered
Oh,
a not
man.
guilty plea on your behalf for purposes of plea on both charges. I'm signing the order for a court-appointed attorney and the ex parte order preserving evidence.
Damn it.
And then
Little
you've got
bastards.
traffic,
Not paying
some
attention.
traffic holes, but nothing aside from that.
Right.
So, in some
Okay, I
criminal
guess I don't
history,
have.
but
Oh, it's not hot.
in recent years. Okay. All right, so sir, on both of these, I'm giving you a personal bond. On the OWY, you've got a $2,500 personal bond. You don't have to post any money. On the allowing an unlicensed driver to drive, you have a $1,000 personal bond. Again, you don't have to post any money. Sir, these are your bond conditions. You're to appear in court as directed. You're not to leave the state without permission of the court.
Oh
You're not
my
to commit any
God.
new crimes while released.
I am
You're to
trying to
immediately notify the court of change of address or phone
get
number.
up my level on this
You
gun,
cannot
and
consume
it's
alcohol or illegal drugs. You
crazy.
may be subject to testing on demand, and obviously you cannot operate a motor vehicle without a valid license. And
I like
Mr.
it, but it
Payne will
needs
send you notice of your
a little bit
court
of
date in
work.
the mail.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're all set.
And I lost some points.
Just see him yesterday.
This one yesterday?
Whoa.
I'm back at this place.
I want to try and shoot it.
Oh, it's a-
Come on through to the door.
Wait,
I don't have any coins anyway.
I
Let's
just.
take a. Oh, I haven't
so
even used
yesterday,
this
did I
yet.
give him bond conditions?
I assume you did, Your Honor.
Let's give it
All
a
right,
look
this
see.
is, let's see, 252310, 23
No
or
ammo.
252309 and 252308, the People versus Akeem Jones.
Your Honor, two of those files you was waiting on yesterday.
All right.
The 252310OT is the new file from today.
Nice.
As
10.
to that, Your Honor, waive reading of the complaint, stand mute,
Huh?
and,
Mr. Jones, did you go over your constitutional rights with
Mr.
your attorney that are outlined on this
Jones.
advice of rights form?
Yeah.
Did you understand your rights?
Yeah.
And did you give your attorney permission to sign your name on that form?
Say, Mr. Jones.
All right, I'm entering a not guilty plea on your behalf. I need a second with this. So I
Yeah.
saw him yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's
Told
your
him he
big.
couldn't have any
shit.
contact with Aguila Benson, and he couldn't return to her home, right? Does this all sound right so far?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I was.
okay, Mr. Jones.
Ms. Lundy, everybody may be seated, and I apologize for interrupting you in the middle of closing.
I'm
The
terribly.
behavior from him, from Mr. Bloom, I am not going to have in terms
Mr.
of his
Bloom.
gestures, his noise and everything, particularly behind Ms.
Mr.
Lundy's
Bloom.
back. Not gonna have it. Mr. Burnton, I'm gonna give you a chance to talk to your client about it and tell him that he is to sit there quietly or not at all before I continue.
Yeah, like a good little bitch.
Take him back. Court is standing in recess.
All right.
You may be seated, but I'm going to admonish you and warn you at this time that the court is not going to allow that type of conduct to occur. With that admonition, are the parties ready for the jury?
Your Honor, I also understand there's been information given to the jury that.
Correct.
No, for one thing.
Yes,
Oh,
for the purposes of the record, I did inform counsel. So at no, that the jury did not take that in any way to be applicable either to Mr. Bloom or to the people, because I had stopped Ms. Lundy in the middle of her closing argument. And I had indicated that they are not to take any delay or interruption by the court. They are not to attribute it to either party. They are to attribute it to the court of its own doing, so that the jury understands that and does not hold that against
Okay,
the
doing good, doing good.
defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor. I am ready to
Longer
proceed.
bolts.
The defense ready?
Okay, we're doing good.
All right, let's bring the jury.
Oh, don't move. Don't move.
What is going on? All right,
All right, let's make sure we get these
go ahead.
plants. Fly traps, whatever.
That's called the case. The
Not really
versus
fly traps,
Bloom.
more like human traps.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sam Bernstein here on behalf,
Where'd he go?
not exactly with Mr. Bloom.
All right. We've had numerous discussions regarding the defendant's participation, just so that the record is clear. The defendant left the.
I saw a
court,
guy over here.
during the course, or at the very beginning, at least I think at the beginning portion of the people's closing argument.
Ready?
Upon his leaving
Ready?
and reviewing some case law at that point, we adjourned it to the continuation of the trial to today.
Oh shit. Yeah, this
Looking
area
at
is not a.
Additional case law.
They don't fuck
without
around
a
over here.
Great deal on point, and I don't have that.
But if I can beat him,
Yes. We had started out, I believe it's the Swan case,
boy.
People versus Swan. That's at 394-451, which we
Alright,
knew
let's look
about
for
last
an
week
ammo. No,
to try to deal
it's
with
up there.
Mr. Bloom's absence from the proceeding.
What I'll do, I'll just run over here
This morning,
really
I
quick.
had told
Hopefully.
counsel that
Oh
the court
no.
additionally found the
That's
case
right, it's
of
up there.
People versus Palmerton. That's at 200 Mishap 302, the 1993
So the best way to
case.
get up there
And the long and short of it
is right here.
is that the defendant to have a valid waiver of his right to be present at trial, that has to be established on
Oh.
the record.
Oh.
My understanding is that the defendant does not wish to come out. He is up in the court's lockup, but does not wish to come out and be present
All right,
for
let's
these
give this a shot,
proceedings.
since-
Is that correct, Mr. Bernstein?
That is correct, Your Honor. I have spoken with him expressly
shit.
related that he has a right to be at the trial proceedings. Mr. Bloom states that he does understand that and he wishes to waive that right and have the closing argument in his absence.
All right, very good. And
Oh my God.
you're
What is going on
satisfied
right
that
now?
He understands and is
Why did they
knowingly waiving
freeze?
his right to be present during the trial.
I am, Your Honor. Today was not the first time that I spoke about it, and I do think that he understands that he has the right to be here and wishes to waive that.
All right. Does either side need, I don't think there's any disagreement that Mr. Bloom is up here because Mr. Bernstein has talked to him. We could put on his testimony of the officer or one of the transport officers to indicate that his
Damn it.
understanding is that Mr. Bloom does not want to be present. Does either party think that is necessary given the representations of Mr. Bernstein?
Your Honor, I have absolutely no reason to doubt Mr. Bernstein. The only concern that people brought forward to the court was if there is a conviction and there is an appeal of that conviction, if Mr. Bloom may make representation that is not what he told Mr. Bernstein, I would request that the court make a very short inquiry of one of the transport officers that it's their understanding as well, if the court would be so inclined.
That may make sense. So if we could have, was it Officer White? Was it?
I do think Corrections Officer White is up.
Where is he?
Yes, he could come out. Deputy White, if you could come to the podium, please. Mr. Allen, if you could swear him in, please.
All right, and you solemnly
Right,
swear to affirm the
bitch.
testimony
Oh.
you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
State and spell your first and last name for the record.
Matthew White, MATTHEWWHITE.
All right. And you're employed with the Washington County
Really?
Sheriff's Office
That's not
Yes.
really doing
and
shit.
The Transport Division.
That's correct.
All right. And you were in part responsible to transport Mr. Bloom to these proceedings today.
Yes.
And he was brought up from the jail to the
Oh shit.
lockup off of the court. Is that correct?
Yes.
During the course of that, and in terms of getting him ready for
Oh,
trial, did Mr.
damn it.
Bloom make any representation to you or in any way indicate to you that he did not wish to participate in these proceedings?
Yes, he did. He just said that
Oh.
he felt like his trial
I can't even
was
see
over
you.
and
How
didn't
you
need to
shooting
be
at
present.
me?
All right. And is it your understanding that he does not wish, based upon those conversations?
Oh, really?
and his actions, is it
Just
your
like
understanding
that, huh?
He does not wish to come out and participate in these proceedings?
Yes.
All right. Any questions from the people?
Your Honor, people are satisfied.
Any questions from the defense?
No, Your
I
Honor.
don't know.
All right.
Whatever.
Thank you, Corporal.
What the fuck? How is
All right.
little fucking bitch,
I think we dealt with that matter. There is then the issue.
bro? How?
Of, an instruction to the jury. During a break while we had an opportunity to speak, I had an opportunity to speak to counsel. I asked them
God
to
damn,
draft
dude.
something that they would believe would be sufficient to instruction to give to the jury. They have drafted.
Oh my God, those things.
We have a copy of the
Those
instruction
stupid.
that I believe the parties wish read to the jury. Mr. Bernstein brought up
Whoa.
the point that not to necessarily read that, or it could be read with my final instructions, but that the real issue was that there had to be some explanation or something to the jury once they came into the courtroom. And so I had indicated, if there's no objection, that I would read that.
Oh my God. I can't believe I beat him. I really thought I was gonna die there.
That I would read that once. the
Another
jury
one?
enters the room.
What?
The instruction that counsel has presented is that during the course
There's
of this
another one
trial,
of
the
those?
defendant has chose to no longer be present for the proceedings.
Uh-oh.
His absence should in no way impact your deliberations and verdict. Is that a correct understanding of?
Yes, Your Honor.
It is, Your Honor.
What the hell
All
is
right,
that?
very
Does the
good.
court consider giving it to the jury when they come in, and then also in the final instructions?
I would consider that. I certainly was going to give it on Mr. Bernstein's request once they came in to explain the defendant not being present. If you wish me to give that during the closing instructions, I could do that also.
Oh,
If the court
shit.
wouldn't mind, I
That's
would
why.
Appreciate that, just so it's very clear that this is your new instruction, and when the court instructs the jury to take the jury instructions as a whole, it would be helpful just to have that included as well, but that is a piece of this trial.
All right. Very good.
I don't mind, it's belt and suspenders, so.
Haven't
I
heard
just
that.
wanna say that.
Haven't heard that in a while, but yes, okay.
You guys and your
Just wanna
fucking
make sure I have.
freezing spells.
I think then what I would do is, since Mr. Bloom did not testify, I would insert the reading of that instruction.
Damn,
Around
dude,
that
I don't know
same
how I
point
made
as
it
the
this
reading of
far.
3.3, the defendant not testifying, I think, yep.
Sequentially, that seems to make sense. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, nice try, bitch.
May be seated.
All right, I'm gonna head
Your Honor,
back in
your
that
instructions.
portal.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Initially, what I would do
Where
is
is
I
it?
would give you an interim instruction and just tell you that during the course of this trial, the defendant has chosen to no
Oh,
longer
there it
be
is.
present for these proceedings. I would admonish you and ask you to remember that his absence should in no way impact your deliberations or your verdict. All right? Ms. Lundy, we're at the point of closing arguments.
Jesus Christ, there's no
When you
fucking
stop
room.
in the Middle, you may begin again with your closing argument.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, with the court's indulgence, at this time, I'm going to end my closing argument. I trust that the jury remembers it and remembers what I
Oh my
had to say.
God.
And I don't see the point
I
in
need to get out of
sort
here.
of rehashing
Pronto.
all of it. They've been paying diligent attention. If that's
Pronto.
okay, if that pleases the court and defense counsel.
That is fine with the court.
Thank you. I do reserve any further argument for rebuttal closing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bernstein.
I don't
closing
want to
argument.
fight with Calamity. No!
Thank you, everyone. for
No,
coming
no,
back.
no, 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 no.
That day, Rocky saw Jeff
That was close.
in the jail.
Almost lost all
and
my points.
Found Jeff to be yelling, saying he didn't trust him. And we've been through this trial now together, and we've
Okay.
seen how that has all played out. And my question for you guys is, where's the beef? Really, where is the beef? There was a question posed to
What?
Rocky. Did he have any reason not to trust you? Rocky said, not at all. There were no problems between Rocky and Jeff. There was no history between Rocky and Jeff. I don't mean to minimize any impact from this on Rocky.
Oh, relics.
The
I'd like to get a
prosecutor in her
relic.
closing did a good job of talking about the emotional connections that we have with nurses. I get it. My wife's a nurse. My grandma was a nurse.
12.
That's not exactly the situation here, though. This wasn't the cozy urgent care. Rocky said when he met Jeff, Jeff is just screaming uncontrollably. He's in fear for his life. He doesn't trust him. There needs to be an officer to calm
Go
him
to,
down. It's
here.
just not a normal situation. And I can understand how Rocky feels the way that he does. After he leaves there at first, there's no problems. Nothing hurts. He walks away. Then he starts talking to people. He starts retelling the story. There's his email. There's his medical records. The story changes. It does. The situation that we do have here is that
Oh
there
my
are
God.
two officers standing right there.
Damn
Both
it.
officers said that they did not see Rocky hit that door. They did not see Rocky hit that door. They did not see Jeff grab Rocky. We watched a video twice. That video showed nothing at all. Of course, there was one major way that we could have resolved this. There was a camera pointed right at Jeff's cell, and no one talked about doing anything to see if that camera captured it.
I didn't get it
Instead,
fast
we were
enough.
shown a video that showed nothing. I come back to my original question, guys. The original question I posed: where is the beef?
Nice.
And I
Where's
don't
the
mean
beef?
motive. Okay, this isn't an Agatha Christie
Where's the beef?
whodunit novel, right? But like, why? The question isn't whether Jeff pulled his arm back.
Yeah,
The question
like,
is
why?
why did he do it?
everyone.
If there is no intent to commit a battery, then there is no battery.
Doesn't mean they don't. They didn't do
Without
it.
intent to commit a battery, there is no crime. Without a beef here, there is no battery. We asked you here for your help, and I get how we got to this point. Jeff is not going to get the benefit of the doubt. He was in jail. That's fine. I get it. A lot of what's been talked about in this trial has always come with an explanation. It's been glossed over, minimized, explained away
Vertical
as
chain,
if these
pendulum,
things
weapon
don't matter.
damage.
Does it not matter that Officer Navin testified that he was standing right there and didn't see that happen?
Okay,
That
this
he
is
didn't see
boring as
Rocky
fuck.
hit the door? Does it not matter that Officer Tweedell was standing right there as well and did not see Rocky hit the door? We saw a video twice that didn't even show anything. We didn't hear about any efforts of anyone trying to get the other video. I mean, does it not matter that Jeff is having an emergency? Does
There
it
was
not
a there was one. Oh boy. Is this one? Yep, this one. Check this one out. This is crazy.
And Nevelis,
That's my case, Chase. That's the motion.
Shows how much judge she is.
all right, this is set for a motion to suppress. State, are you ready with witnesses?
No, Your Honor. The witness that we need, Officer Lucio, formerly worked for Hollywood Park
Hill Country Village.
Hill Country Village PD, but no longer does so. He now works for Windcrest PD. I did not learn this information until Friday afternoon and was not able to request Officer Lucio to be present. State requests a reset. If the court denies it, we'll dismiss for missing witness.
All right, then what I'll do is this case is coming back this afternoon at 1:30. And it's going to proceed at 1:30, so you have till 1:30 to obtain your witness.
So
Thank you, Judge. Can I be excused till 1:30?
Yes.
Come on, foos.
We're back on the record in 2024 CR 011124, State versus Simeon Alexander Nevels.
Oh, y'all trying to
Could I
kill
have
me,
parties
eh?
announced for the record, please, for the state, for the defense.
Robert Mauer for defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. Nevels?
Yes.
So yesterday we had a hearing on a motion to suppress. The officer was called as a witness and you were also called as a witness. The state entered into evidence without objection, State's Exhibit number 1, which is a DVD of the stop of the vehicle and also the entirety of the interaction with the officer on the date of the alleged offense. And counsel, if you could give that to the court reporter so they can have it in their record, please. All right, the court reviewed State's Exhibit number 1 last night, and also I reviewed it again this morning to make sure.
Fuck you.
Well, there's
Bitch.
a lot of coming from that room. All right. The court reviewed it again this morning just to make sure that I had everything that I was looking for with regards to State's Exhibit number 1, and also with regards to both the testimony of yourself and of the officer. All right. The court. That's a lot of noise. All right. When looking at the DVD and bearing in mind watching State's Exhibit number 1, also
Just listen to her, what she has to
reviewing
say.
mentally the testimony of yourself and the officer, this is what the court finds. The stop was a legal stop. The stop was for speeding. On State's Exhibit number 1, you admit to going over the speed limit. The officer informed you of what the speed limit was. You informed the officer what you thought the speed limit was, but you admitted to the 47 miles per hour, and I believe it was a 30 mile per hour zone. Then the next question becomes, did the officer have a right to search your vehicle if the officer in fact thought that there was a smell of marijuana? The case law is clear. If there is a smell of marijuana, an officer is allowed to search the vehicle. They are allowed specifically to search the trunk if they so choose to search your trunk. In this case, they searched the trunk and they found what they believe to be illegal substances. So the next question for the court becomes whether witnesses are credible or not. What the court viewed in State's Exhibit number 1, and if someone is objecting to what the
Okay,
court
I think I
viewed and what the court is about to say, what is in State's Exhibit number 1, please do not hesitate to let the court know. You're pulled over. You're at an apartment complex. You
I'm
tell
not
the
doing it
officer
right, and
that
I
you
don't-
are there to see your girlfriend. The officer discusses with you, as he has a flashlight looking in your vehicle, the reason for the stop, which was for the speeding, which you agreed you were speeding. The officer asks for your insurance and driver's license. You tell the officer that you have your insurance information on your phone, but you would like to speak with your girlfriend. The officer asks why you would like to speak with your girlfriend, and you state to him because, and I'm summarizing here, you state with him because your girlfriend was expecting you and you just want to let your girlfriend know what is occurring. The officer tells you not to do that. You continue to look on your phone for your insurance. You tell the officer, I promise you, I do have insurance, but I got the insurance online and I am looking for it. The officer continues to speak with you, and this goes on for several minutes. During that first
think I just
contact
did
with
it.
the officer does not mention whatsoever
Which fire
any smell of
clusters?
marijuana. The officer then leaves your vehicle and goes back to his vehicle and says he wants to check on something.
Shit.
The officer
Just
enters
listen.
his vehicle, and there are
Don't
phone
listen to me,
calls
listen
that
to
are
her.
coming into him, and he's making phone calls out. On his screen that is in his vehicle,
Not that anyone is.
it appears to the court that he is running the vehicle. The court is unable to view exactly what is on the screen because the writing is very small and the video is not great. But when he runs your vehicle, the court sees that there are
Which fire
green
clusters?
lettering throughout the screen. And he's clicking on a button, and as he clicks on the button, the screen continues to go to what the court is assuming the next page, and that is green. He remains in the vehicle. Another
Yep, that
call
entire
comes in,
time he doesn't smell
and
weed.
then
Going back
either
to his
he
car,
sends a
coming
call out
back,
or a call comes in
and
to
then
him,
he smells
and he
weed.
lets them know what's going on.
No,
and he
it's not how it
says in the
works.
phone, I need PC for this vehicle.
Probable
Then
cause,
once he requests PC
which is
for the
bullshit.
vehicle, then
He's looking for something.
I see the screen again, and all of a sudden, the screen
crooked.
comes up with a bunch of red writing. The court is making an assumption because neither party asked what he meant when he said, I need PC of the vehicle. The court is assuming that that call was, I need probable cause for this vehicle. Then after
So I
he
need to
does
make
that,
something up.
he gets out of his car, comes back to your car, and he shines the flashlight on you again, and he says, why are you looking at Wells Fargo? And your response to him was, I'm looking at Wells Fargo because that's where my insurance comes out each month. I swear to you, I have insurance. He allows you to do that. Then he says something to the effect of, let me be honest with you. I smell marijuana in your car and you have this box. And you tell him that box is empty. He says, do you have any weapons or anything in the vehicle? Because I'm going to search your vehicle. And your response to him was, I have a samurai sword. Just as a side note, why you have a samurai sword, I don't know. But that's what you tell him. So then he says, well, I smell marijuana, get out of the car, I'm searching your entire vehicle. He takes you to the back of the vehicle. He proceeds to handcuff you and tells you, you're not under arrest, but I'm doing it for my safety. Then he searches your vehicle. The court is going to find that the state's witness was not credible. And so I'm going to grant the motion to suppress, not based upon the fact that the search was improper or illegal. I'm basing it on the fact that the officer was not credible when the officer stated that he smelled marijuana in your car. And the reason
he was
for
full
that
of
is
shit.
because on first contact with you, and he was with you for several minutes, he never mentioned marijuana. The only time he mentioned marijuana is when he went to his car. He ran your vehicle the first time, then he ran it the second time after calling someone and saying that he needed PC on the vehicle. The court is assuming that PC means probable cause to search, and he's looking for that and asking for them to give him PC. I could not understand or hear what conversation was going with whatever party he was on the phone with.
There it is.
But if he's asking someone for PC to search your vehicle, that means in the court's mind that he wasn't credible when he said he smelled marijuana. Anything else from either side?
No, Judge.
Yeah, Brooke John.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May be excused?
Yes.
Bam, just like that. All gone. Think I'm going that way? You fucking high. I got, well,
If it's not going to be a lie, go for it.
Judge, respectfully,
No, you lied to me.
okay, if I may, Judge, very briefly. And good afternoon, Your Honor. Good afternoon to your fine staff. May it please the most honorable court.
dude, that's the
Senator
last
Martell,
fucking guy you want to lie to.
051. On behalf of Darren Dwayne Wilson, sir, please stand and give your full and complete name for the record. Darren Dwayne Wilson.
Thank you.
Your Honor, today is the date and time scheduled for a political exam. I believe
Minuscule.
that Mr. Martell would like to start us off by motioning for Your Honor to recuse himself from this case.
Judge, if I may, very briefly.
Go on.
Thank you, Judge. And certainly, Judge, I got much respect for this honorable court, been before this court a number of times. Judge, but
I want you
the
to
court
follow
rule is
it.
clear, Judge, that a examination must be conducted by a neutral and detached magistrate, Judge. In
Okay.
this particular case, and just for a little bit of context, for Your Honor, this is a case where there's already
Oh,
a
shit,
co-defendant,
son.
where an examination has been held, where the testimony has been taken, where the victim or complainant absolutely identifies a mixed race ethnicity, light-skinned male, certainly not my client who's dark brown skin with barrel rolls. Judge, notwithstanding saying, Your Honor the sole basis that the people intend to introduce quote-unquote identity is through the search warrants and the subsequent evidence that was purportedly obtained thereafter, Judge. I say that all to say that, Judge.
I don't know what case you're talking about. Who's the co-defendant?
You didn't preside over that. I could make the argument a lot more.
I did not preside over.
No.
Oh,
So the
that
argument
that one in the sky.
Well, let him, then I'll let him finish, because I don't know, it did not even begin to ring a bell.
It should.
But if I can just streamline it, Judge. In brief, Your Honor
Dude, you guys in that.
was presented ex parte with
Fucking-
2 search warrants in this particular case. Ultimately, these 2 search warrants, there was information heard, there was
Man,
search warrant, there was
what the
probable cause
fuck?
found, there was search warrant signed. Judge, we now come before you for a separate analysis of whether there's probable cause in this case, but Your Honor, pursuant to People v. Burrell, which
Who is getting me in the
391
back?
124, Judge, it certainly cannot be neutral and detached when Your Honor respectfully has already found probable cause in this case, and specifically the case law says.
Whoa. How the hell do you jump to that conclusion?
What, Judge,
Because the probable cause that's determined from a search warrant is based upon that evidence that is presented to me in the form of an affidavit on that search warrant. That's going to have no bearing whatsoever on what testimony I hear or don't hear in this case. So I don't even know how you get to that conclusion. But I'll
Whoa!
let you continue
How
because
do you
I think
guys
it's a-
end up there?
Go ahead.
thank you, Judge. And
What
Judge,
the
just certainly to preserve the record, certainly I don't want to come back on a quash or an appeal or even a remand, Judge, but the case law is clear. It says that the defendant requests a magistrate other than the magistrate who has already heard ex parte witnesses, such as the request should not be or should be
Dude,
regarded
what
as
the fuck?
reasonable
Where did these
and
people
reasonable
come
effort
from?
exerted towards compliance, Judge.
What expert paid witnesses did I hear from?
Judge, Your Honor signed both of the search warrants in this particular matter. Certainly testified.
But that says I've heard from witnesses. I've not heard from any witness.
Oh, is that it?
If it's your
Does
position,
that
Oh.
case clearly apply to search warrants?
that it's not
Come here,
limited
you
to search
little
warrants.
bitch.
But if,
That isn't what I asked you, Mr. Martel.
yes, Judge.
Is that applicable?
run away
I
from
could
me.
certainly see a circumstance where I would have heard, like what you started out with, which doesn't seem to
So-
be true, that I heard something and then there would
So-
be a request that I not hear
Does
it
that guy follow
because
me?
I heard the witnesses or testimony. And so in that circumstance, there would be a much
I don't
different
get it.
analysis. But now you're trying to cite a case, apply it to something that I don't think that applies to.
Judge, what I'm
Just by the very words that you said. And certainly you show me that it says that a judge that has, or a magistrate that has signed a search warrant should not then hear the preliminary examination where they made a finding.
Judge, specifically, this relates to an arrest warrant, not a search warrant. However, if it's the position of the court that Your Honor has heard no testimony, sworn testimony or otherwise, then I guess our request would be moot. But
I have
All right,
read
where's some more ammo?
so that we're clear, because you're playing fast and loose with
Straight
words.
ahead, I guess.
So that it's clear, I would have read the search warrant. I don't recall receiving
The
any
hell?
testimony
What is
at all
that?
regarding that search warrant, because I typically don't. I make a determination if there's probable cause contained within the
What
four
is that?
corners of that document, swear the individual in, sign off on the search warrant. It's really as simple as that.
The
So if you show me a case, Mr. Martel, that says under those circumstances, the court shouldn't hear it, then show me the case. Otherwise, you're wasting my time.
Judge, so acknowledged, I would say that Burrell is applicable. And I would also humbly submit, Judge, it's the position of the court that anything outside the four corners of the exam transcript has been analyzed or sworn to, then it would certainly fall.
Then you're going to need to file a motion. So I can, if it doesn't bear out, I can find it frivolous and I'm going to adjourn this and then I can sanction. You need to file a written motion. How long is that going to take you?
Judge,
How long is that going to take you?
Judge, certainly,
How long is that going to take you? If you cannot answer that question, then I will take a recess. I will give you time to think about that. And then I will come back and I need your time frame for how soon you can file the motion.
Yeah,
In fact,
little
why don't we
bitch.
just do
we're
that?
prepared to proceed.
Why don't we just do that? You can take him back. Court's going to stand in recess.
All right.
Court recalls case of the people versus Darren Wilson.
Simple.
And good afternoon once again, Your Honor. Good afternoon to your fine staff. And please, this most honorable court, Edward Martell, P 85051, on behalf of Darren Dwayne. State your name once again for the record.
Have a seat. So, Mr. Martell, you know, I'm a bit concerned. I just take what people give me. But I'm just going to say this. You lied to me at the very beginning of your argument. I went back, had my staff go back. You said that I held a preliminary examination on the co-defendant. I couldn't recall it, but it's not true. That was an absolute falsehood and misrepresentation to this court. Ms. Hughes then points that out, but I'm still not sure. On the break, I go back, have my staff look it up, which was some doing, but the case that you're referring to as a co-defendant is Christopher
cleansing
Harrison. That case number for reference is 24F22251, our case number. That is not the circuit court case number.
Oh, I need 3.
I didn't handle that exam. Judge Barr handled that exam.
You.
So your initial argument regarding refusal started with and I hate using the word, but it's true. It started with a lie. Then, Mr. Martell, you continued with your lie regarding the import of the case of People versus Burrell.
What a fucking asshole.
Which you cite one portion of it about a magistrate who takes testimony.
How about that?
And does that, and that's why I went through exactly what this court does regarding search warrants. And then you cite a portion of that, and I think intentionally skipped over the first part of that paragraph to mislead this court. And I'll tell you what it says. It says, whereas here,
Not
an
smart.
affidavit presented to a magistrate was in conclusory form, which I'm sure those search warrants were, and did not state any of the underlying or operative fact, and no witnesses were examined, which they weren't, we can perceive no prejudice to the accused in having the magistrate who issued the arrest warrant, which is different, preside at a preliminary examination.
Oh God, I hate this fucking area.
If I may.
I always die here.
If it's not going to be a lie, go for it.
Judge, respectfully.
No, you lied to me.
Okay, if I may, Judge, very briefly, I think the record will reflect it. When I cited or spoke about a preliminary examination, I didn't speak directly against this court having held it, but it having been previously held. I was not present at that particular examination. However, Judge, certainly I would make no false representations as to who held it or who didn't hold it. I think I just provided that for context.
You want me to play it back?
Judge, I certainly do not. But
You want me to play it back?
Judge, I certainly, if Your Honor, if some other time wants to, that's fine.
No, if you're gonna sit up here and tell me you didn't lie to me, you want me to play it back?
It certainly cannot be neutral and detached when Your Honor respectfully has already found probable cause in this case, and specifically the case
Oh, no,
law
he's
says.
gotta-
Whoa. How the hell do you jump to that conclusion?
Judge, then I stand corrected, Judge, but I certainly intend to make no misrepresentations to the context. The main argument is what it is. And certainly Your Honor is not barred from presiding over this exam. But again, and I've spoken with my client in the basis of just preserving the record and putting forth this argument. Certainly mean no disrespect, harassment, or delay to the people. Judge, we're prepared to proceed. If Your Honor intends to deny, that's fine. Again, we're prepared.
I don't know what your motion is, because everything that is presented to me is not it. Ms. Hughes, do people have anything to say regarding this?
I have quite the record to make regarding the one thing that
Whoa.
I absolutely have to say.
What is that?
Even though I think this argument is clear and where this situation is headed is clear, but the thing that needs to be abundantly clear, I do have a lot to say about the law and I do have my own cases to cite, but if Your Honor doesn't need those, I'll set that aside. But the thing that needs to be said is the search warrants that Your Honor reviewed are what led to the pertinent testimony today. They did not include the pertinent testimony that would be heard today. Your Honor signed off on search warrants that include facts that frankly are not being contested. The defense is not contesting that these crimes occur. They are contesting the defendant's identity. The search warrants led to evidence of the defendant's identity, facts that Your Honor has never heard before, which is where we're about to go. But frankly, the law that I'm choosing not, and maybe I just need to, the law is actually clear that a judge who has reviewed and approved a search warrant, even on facts that they will later hear, that is okay, that procedure is okay. And specifically, I turn to People v. Cameron, which is an unpublished case of the Court of Appeals from 2013, and Cameron is Cameron. And in that case, not only did the judge review and approve the search warrant, but that judge went on to be the trial judge, a bench trial judge. And the Court of Appeals said in that case, so the issue that went up to the Court of Appeals was the defendant was claiming that his trial attorney was ineffective by not trying to recuse that judge. And the Court of Appeals said, failing to advance a meritless argument or raise a futile objection does not constitute ineffective assistance of counsel. That is what the Court of Appeals said about trying to recuse a judge who has previously reviewed a search warrant. The other case that is specifically on point is a much older case. It's from 1971. It's People v. Pitchford, 3-3 Mish at 299, 1971. In that case, the defendant actually, at the preliminary exam, wanted to attack the search warrant.
Win something for once.
Approved. And that judge that had approved the search warrant at issue went on to be the preliminary examination judge. Mind you, on appeal, it wasn't that exact issue. It was more of a statutory interpretation issue that went up on appeal. But the Court of Appeals in that case said the statutory interpretation would have led to the same procedure, that the search warrant judge would have become the preliminary exam judge, and then they affirmed, and the case went back down for exam. But
I've seen most of those.
Whoa, where are you going?
Bro thought he could get away? No, that ain't happening, bro. Nope. Nope, you'll never get away. I've seen people do that before. I used to work security at a courthouse. I've seen people run straight from the courtroom outside,
in Washington State.
right in front of me. Just
with other convicts before being taken to prison.
didn't do a fucking thing either.
But Hyde had
But they
other
always get
ideas.
caught, so.
As an officer turned his back to him, Hyde slipped out and snuck back into the courtroom. He then removed his prison shirt and used it to hide the handcuffs. Hyde then made it down the hallway, ditching his noticeable prison shoes in the process. Before exiting through the lobby and making a run for it out onto the streets. But Hyde's freedom didn't last long. He was recaptured 2 hours after his escape. The 24-year-old was later convicted of second-degree escape and sentenced to 2 years and 2 months in prison. While Gerald Hyde had a nifty attempt to escape justice, what happens when a convict is so fast, even the camera can't keep up?
Whoa!
Like in the case of Rayton Woodford, who's in Jefferson County Circuit Court for violating
5
his
more.
probation. According to reports, the 29-year-old was previously sentenced to probation for drugs and weapon-related charges. Now, in court, Woodford's girlfriend sat just a few feet away, showing support. During the hearing, a detective took the stand.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be truthful?
That evening, he was charged with the handgun and narcotics.
And if you know, was Mr. Woodford at the time a convicted felon?
Yes, he was.
The courtroom camera remained locked on the witness stand as Judge Barry Willett announced his decision.
Probation revoked in its entirety. Mr. Woodford, I'm going to send you to serve 5 years. Good luck to you. No, ma'am.
Moments later, the unthinkable happened. There was a flash across the camera as Woodford attempted to make a break for it. His girlfriend could be heard pleading him to stop.
The record will reflect that Mr. Woodford made an unsuccessful effort to escape.
Woodford's escape was unsuccessful. He was brought back into the courtroom by deputies and arrested. As Woodford was being ushered away, his girlfriend claimed she was pushed and her hair was pulled by a deputy during the scuffle. Judge Willett allowed her to address the court.
I was just gonna say, just throw her in jail, fuck it.
Okay, I've heard you.
But when she started throwing
Okay.
accusations at the judge himself, he lost his patience.
Yep. Go.
I'm not condoning any. No, wait a minute. Come back up here right now. Don't you tell me I'm condoning anything. I just told you what I observed. You made an effort to stop him from leaving. I appreciate that. But in the thick of it, when your boyfriend is fighting with deputies, people might get pushed out of the way.
Woodford's girlfriend faced no additional charges.
She tearfully leaves the courtroom moments later.
In contrast, Woodford faced an additional charge of second-degree escape on top of his 5-year sentence. While no one was
That's
injured
stupid.
during Rayton Woodford's
That's
escape
it?
attempt,
He
what
got
happens
5
when
years
an
and he
officer
tried to
takes a
escape. What a
nosedive to catch a
moron.
convict? Like in the case of Nicholas Garrison, who was just sentenced for drug possession in Greenfield, Ohio. The 34-year-old was being prepped to be taken to prison when suddenly...
Oh, you motherfuckers, man. Y'all are gonna piss me the fuck off.
Let's back up. 2 deputies were restraining Garrison to be taken to jail. However, as one of them turned away for a split second, Garrison bolted. He burst out of the courtroom and made for the stairs as a deputy took a giant leap to catch him. But Garrison managed to slip away and escape. He evaded police for a while before finally being captured at a motel 4 days later. He was later handed a 6-year prison sentence for his efforts. As for the daring deputy, he suffered 4 broken ribs and a concussion. While Nicholas Garrison's actions resulted in a deputy's hospitalization, what happens when an escaped convict causes a serious car crash? Like in the case of Cyrus Matthews, who is facing misdemeanor charges in Wadsworth Municipal Court in Ohio. The 19-year-old was just sentenced to 60 days in jail for a road rage case.
I'm sorry for, acting immature on the road. I understand that, being on the road, you do have other people's lives in your hand. And, I should have thought about that. Is there, any way that we could reverse this jail time?
Well, you're going to have to go to jail today. If you need to get out to attend the hearing, we can consider furloughs. Okay, but right now you're going to go to jail right.
However, what Matthews did next left everyone stunned.
Okay? So you have to go today, right?
After learning his fate, Matthews straight up just walked out of the courtroom. The judge threatened him with felony charges, but Matthews had other ideas.
Have him charged with escape, felony escape if he doesn't get back to this court.
I think he knows that, though.
The defendant had a moment of hesitation as the court bailiff tried to reason with him.
It's probably like, it's too late now.
However, as Matthews' girlfriend followed him out, the two ran over to the parking lot, got into their car, and escaped.
Well, she's stupid, because now she's getting time.
Police sprung into action and a high-speed chase ensued.
He was sentenced to jail and took off. I saw him turn north onto Lyman from Maple. He was in an older gray four-door vehicle.
28, he's not. He's running red lights at Hartman, passing on the right at Williams Reserve. My speed's 90, trying to catch up. Wadsworth, I think we're going to have a code 2. We're going to have a code 2 at Akron, 76.
When police finally caught up with the suspect, they found a horrific scene.
The crash mangled two vehicles, leaving parts scattered across Akron Road near I-76 and knocking down a gas station sign. An innocent mother, father, and their baby in an SUV suffered minor injuries.
Matthews had crashed his car into another SUV, which had a couple and a toddler inside. Thankfully, they were not seriously injured.
Fucking really lucky.
Where's he at? All right, we're gonna have multiple vehicles, airbag deployment. Ma'am, are you okay? Okay.
What a fucking
He's
scumbag.
okay. All right, we got squads coming.
I hope they treated him real nice in prison.
Ashley, help them get out. Help them get out. He's up here.
12
As the gravity of his actions dawned on
children.
him, Matthews broke down.
Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out.
Yeah, that's what happens, man.
I'm gonna need multiple squads.
When you break the law, shit happens.
Okay, they're tight.
Are you
What was going on? Why were you taking off?
Because they're trying to lock me up for 90 days and I have a whole life.
So what happened?
Well, don't break the law, moron.
Matthews was further charged with aggravated felonious assault and sentenced to 425 days in jail. While Cyrus Matthews' courtroom escape turned out
That's
to be a
it?
painful lesson, what happens when a wheelchair-bound convict runs for his freedom?
God damn. Damn.
Like the case of Joel Delgado, who was being wheelchaired to court in Little Rock, Arkansas. Delgado,
I
who was in jail
don't
facing
believe.
burglary and
I believe
firearms
that guy
charges,
can walk.
had allegedly told
Just a-
police he wasn't feeling well
just a
and
guess.
couldn't move his legs.
Fake illness or fake injury. That was most likely what happened.
Now, being wheeled into
Probably
the
not the
courthouse,
first time that's
Delgado
happened.
distracted the officer by saying he had lost his shoe.
What'd you say, OJ? My shoe. Hey, you see a shoe back there? Where is it?
However, what happened next is every law enforcement officer's nightmare. As the officer bent down to pick up his shoe, Delgado sprang up and made a run for it. The officer ran after Delgado, but he was nowhere to be found.
Oh, I'm gonna catch you, baby. I'm gonna shoot your bitch ass. Hey, can you call the police for me? Call the police for me. Hey, call the police. Call the police. What way it go?
Already without a radio, the officer had a hard time calling for backup.
Hey, Hook.
Feel
The
bad for
wheelchair
him.
dude got up and ran. Yeah. I couldn't catch his ass. And my radio was in the mother. I had my camera on though. He jumped the rail. It's on my camera, bro. Oh, what's that, man?
And while authorities saw the lighter side of things, Delgado was gone for a good few hours. He was later caught from the other side of town, charged with felony escape, and was once again put in a wheelchair.
The 41-year-old is being wheeled into an ambulance, claiming to be injured and unable to walk.
Yeah.
While Joel Delgado
The guy that
successfully
ran.
managed to deceive an officer, What happens when a judge has to chase after the suspect? Like in the case of Tanner Jacobson and Cody Howard, who were in the Lewis County Courthouse for driving on suspended licenses. As Judge R.W. Buzzard was about to address them, something unexpected happened. Handcuffed and dressed in prison uniform, the two defendants made a run for it. Without a second thought, Judge Buzzard sprang into action. Outside the courtroom, the prison shoes got the better of Howard. The judge followed the two suspects down the flight of stairs and caught up with Howard just as he was about to escape. Jacobson fled on foot
dude
for a
almost
few
got
blocks
away
before
too.
coming back to his senses and surrendering.
I only get like 4 blocks and then I stopped. Like I just stopped on my own. I'm like, what am I doing right now?
The reason behind their actions? Your guess is as good as theirs.
It was just a split second like decision. I don't even know why I did it. Like I would be out of here if I wouldn't have ran.
I didn't try to escape to get out. I tried to escape to get well, and I tried to do what I could, do what I could do to get my drug addiction.
Initially facing only a 30-day jail sentence, the two ultimately ended up with significantly larger prison terms.
Okay.
While Tanner Jacobson and Cody Howard's moment of
Ain't nobody
insanity
wanna watch
earns
this
them
shit,
more
man.
jail time. What happens when a deputy with an iron grip prevents an escape?
Hey, maybe.
Like in the
watch a
case
little more.
of Derek Wright, who was facing speeding charges in a Louisville, Kentucky
That's it?
courtroom. The mood in the court was pretty chill that day.
Yeah.
Man, I don't understand criminals.
Bacon makes everything better. Let's be real.
But as the judge was looking at his paperwork, Wright attempted to walk away.
Whoa, where are you going?
No.
No.
So I can't go to the restaurant? What can I make a copy of my mom? In a minute.
It was discovered that in addition to his speeding charge, Wright had an outstanding warrant for domestic violence.
So you don't want to go to jail.
But Wright believed there was some kind of mistake.
We're verifying it. I went to court
What the fuck is this shit?
Sir, I need you to calm down.
We always verify. Yeah, but if it's dismissed, you're good. If not, I'm gonna take care of the custody. I need to call my mama if I'm gonna get arrested because this is something new to me because this is the only thing that I was supposed to go to court for.
Eventually, it turned out the warrant was indeed active.
It's unserved, so it's still good. Okay. Sir, you need to calm down, okay? They're gonna go ahead, they're gonna execute this. They'll let you take some time to call your mom.
But Wright had other ideas. As he was
Damn.
taken to jail, Wright attempted
Bro
to flee.
tried to get away.
Deputy with a strong
Ain't
grip
gonna
managed
happen,
to bring
bruh.
him down. 2 more deputies ultimately subdued the situation.
Hold your arms out. 104, you cancel that. We got it.
But it was not under
Damn.
control. Wright kept struggling until a deputy pulled out his taser.
We done? Are we done? All right, you all get stood up. You're gonna walk back there real nice, okay?
Wright was removed from court, and he was not a happy man.
Gotcha. Gotcha, bitch. Wish I could say it the way Dave Chappelle said it. Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch. Okay.
Wright's antics slapped him with
Oh,
additional
here's one.
charges of third-degree assault, resisting arrest, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct. While Derek Wright received 50,000 volts of electricity for his actions, what happens when a crazy attempt
Whoa,
to
what?
escape goes
You got
wrong?
the chair?
Like in the
Whoa,
case of Mario
whoa!
and Jose Guzman, who were at a pretrial hearing in Jefferson Circuit Court in Louisville, Kentucky. The brothers were facing serious charges of drug possession and trafficking. Now in court, the prosecution attempted to increase Mario's bond from $500 to $15,000 after he
Oh, nice
faced
try,
new
guys.
charges of burglary.
In your order, it
That ain't gonna
specifically
work
says
for me,
no
though.
further violations of the law. He picked up new charges. He violated the law.
But the defense argued the new recommended bond was too high, as the burglary charges were invalid.
They don't have the victim because he left town because he's a drug dealer. I mean, we might as well say 100,000 full cash, Judge. It's an amount that Mr. Guzman can't post. That's not the purpose of bond. The purpose of bond is to make sure that someone comes to court.
However, the judge agreed with the prosecutor and raised Mario's bond to $5,000.
I agree. New charges obviously have been picked up. Current bond is not appropriate. It will be $5,000 full cash.
Mario then stood up to be taken into custody. But he had no intention of going to prison.
Whoa, whoa! Why are you screaming, lady? Why do women do that? Stop screaming. You're making everything worse.
And headed towards the door before deputies wrestled
I hate
him
when
to the
women
ground.
do that. Why are you
As one of
doing
them
that?
pulled out
Why
a
are you
taser,
screaming?
The courtroom erupted.
He's okay. He's okay.
Jose Guzman tried to calm his brother down.
No.
Sorry, man. I'm joking.
Shut up!
No.
Mario's wife became so distraught that she had to be handcuffed.
Yeah, that cop needs to stop being a piece of shit.
Finally,
Just
deputies
because
managed
someone's
to
yelling, it
remove
doesn't mean
Mario
you have to
from the
point a
courtroom.
taser at someone. Some of the cops in this country, Jesus
He faced
Christ.
additional charges
They use
of
a
attempted
taser
assault
for
and criminal
everything.
mischief, and his bond was increased to $7,500. While Mario Guzman got his wife arrested for his attempted escape, what happens when officers come face to face with a Satanist? Like in the case of Leonid Greiser, who's on trial for murder in Russia. As per reports, the 18-year-old teenager.
All right, where's this last one, man?
Moscow, claiming that
I can't
Satan
find it.
had ordered him to do it. Greiser was found
Right.
his sister's body covered with demonic symbols, painted with blood.
Of
During
course.
questioning, Greiser was seen smiling and free of remorse.
Yeah, wait until you get sentenced.
Greiser claimed he had to kill his sister to get rid of his self-doubts.
Until he's gone forever and the cameras are gone.
От каких сомнений?
Russian prison.
Police also found drugs at his apartment, which may have been a factor, but Greiser said he was aware of what he was doing.
Зачем вы так с ней расправились?
Потому что я должен. Себе должен. Я должен так себе. Я осознанно это сделал.
In court, Greiser was put behind a glass cage to prevent him from escaping, but the defendant had other ideas.
Pretty sure he goes up.
Куда ты лезешь? Делай.
When his first attempt to escape was thwarted, Greiser took the high road. He somehow managed to squeeze through the roof of the cage and tried to escape through the false ceiling of the courtroom.
Oh my god, where is this?
Stunned officers desperately tried to get to the escaping prisoner. One of them managed to pull his pants down, but struggled to hold Greiser.
Dude, where are they? You're not going anywhere. There's no way to get out that way.
To tase the suspect.
Even in Russia, they don't go taser happy. Even in Russia. Dude, where the fuck is this thing?
Eventually, Greiser gave up, crawled back into his glass cell, and was asked to pull his pants back up.
I don't see open anywhere. Nope. Nope. It should be right here. But it's not.
When the dust settled, Greiser was handcuffed to prevent any further shenanigans. Ultimately, a judge sentenced Greiser to compulsory psychiatric medical treatment every 6 months. While Leonid Greiser's antics may bring some changes to the cage's design, what happens when a drug-fueled convict attempts to escape? Like in the case of 35-year-old Daniel Nicholson, who's facing weapons charges in Adelaide, Australia. Already out on bail, Nicholson was today in court to learn whether his pretrial release was to continue. To his shock, the judge decided to revoke bail.
Whoa.
No, you can stop.
Still got one
protested in
more.
disbelief, but the judge
Where
refused to
is
listen.
it?
Take a seat. Take a seat.
Miss, please, miss.
Please, miss. I'll tell you what please, miss
No,
is.
no, no.
This is when things got crazy. Realizing he was about to go to prison, Nicholson launched himself over the glass dock, overpowered 2 officers, and landed on the bar table before being tackled to the floor. Amidst all that chaos, a woman made a plea on Nicholson's behalf. Eventually, officers were able to get things under control.
Grab the cuffs. Don't do anything.
Dude, what the
The
hell?
incident saw one officer suffering a broken foot, while another sustained a jaw injury. Nicholson faced additional charges of attempting to escape from custody.
Where is this fucking
recklessly
thing?
causing harm to a prescribed emergency worker. He later pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 21 months in prison. While Daniel Nicholson's actions could be blamed on drug use, what happens when a convict takes advantage of the law? Like in the case of 28-year-old Eddie
It should be
Villalobos,
on that
who's facing
side
a
over
murder
there.
trial in Hillsborough,
One on that
Oregon.
end,
In 2021,
one on that end,
Villalobos was
and one
charged
on
with
this end.
second-degree murder after he allegedly stabbed a man to death. Now in court, about to stand trial, 2 deputies escorted Villalobos into the courtroom.
Nothing there.
His shackles were then removed because, under Oregon law, a defendant should not be restrained in front of the jury to avoid prejudice. However, Villalobos was not the one to play by the rules.
Dude, I don't know.
Just seconds after his hand and leg restraints were removed, Villalobos hopped over a chair and bolted towards the door. He raced through the hallway as deputies desperately pursued him.
I don't know, man.
Villalobos made it down the stairs and exited through the lobby, closing the door behind him. Before finally escaping the building. A 2-hour manhunt ensued before authorities got a call that a person was trying to break into an apartment next door. When police arrived, they found Villalobos hiding under a blanket inside a closet. He was arrested and charged with first-degree burglary and second-degree escape.
This is the moment Villalobos was taken into custody after a 2-hour search. The Washington County Sheriff's Office says he was hiding in a hallway and he was arrested.
Hey, Washington County.
A few months later, Villalobos was convicted of the murder charge and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
That's
While
why.
Eddie Villalobos was recaptured quickly by an efficient police force, what happens when lawyers have to bring a convict down?
I said, hey, stop, man, don't do this. But he didn't even give me a chance, really. And
like in the case of Israel Pointer, who was at the Oklahoma County Courthouse for a bond hearing. Facing robbery and firearms charges, the 19-year-old just learned his bond was revoked. Realizing he was about to go to jail, Pointer made a break for it. Bursting through the courtroom door, Pointer escaped the clutches of one deputy while narrowly missing another.
Should be a chest over here somewhere.
Pointer then ran into 2 more deputies who managed to catch him, but he proved to be too slippery for them. Once again, Pointer managed to break free.
I just need more ammo.
About to taste freedom, Pointer then encountered a group of attorneys. Instead of getting out of the way, Oklahoma County District Attorney David Prater grabbed Pointer and refused to let go. Other attorneys stepped in and overpowered the defendant. D.A. Prater was no stranger to catching fleeing defendants. Turns out this was his 4th time.
you know, working in this courthouse is a lot like being in the Wild West again. You just never know what's going to happen. Just stepped in.
Pointer was finally taken into custody and additionally charged with resisting arrest. While a vigilant lawyer stood between a defendant and his freedom, what happens when a convict shows Olympic-level athleticism to escape? Like in the case of Gregory Wright, who's facing trial for armed robbery in Detroit, Michigan. Back in 1995, 22-year-old Wright reportedly robbed a man at gunpoint and stole his vehicle. While fleeing from police, Wright slammed into a police cruiser and opened fire, hitting an officer in the arm. A day later, Wright was arrested and charged with robbery and firearms-related offenses. While being taken to court, Wright showed zero remorse for his actions.
All I got to say is I have no remorse for shooting that police officer. He got what he deserved. If I had the opportunity to kill him, I'd kill him.
Yeah.
In his pretrial hearing, the judge set Wright's bond
Yeah,
at a
son.
staggering $50,000. Knowing for certain he was going to jail, Wright made a break for it.
There's no way I'll make it. Absolutely no way.
As he was being shown the door which led to his imprisonment, Wright decided to take the opposite route. After escaping the clutches of an officer, Wright made an impressive leap to clear the barricade. But unfortunately, he fell straight into the arms of officers. It finally took 7 officers to subdue the defendant. Wright's bond was eventually removed and he was ordered to remain in prison. As for his trial, Wright was ultimately convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. While Gregory Wright displayed great athleticism in court, what happens when an escape attempt is straight out of the movies? For that, we go to the Franklin County Courthouse in Columbus, Ohio, where a group of female defendants were on their way to jail after getting arraigned. Among them was 39-year-old Mobley, who was indicted for aggravated theft, and 40-year-old Morrissey, who was charged with drunk driving. However, The two bold women had no plans to go to prison. Shackled to each other at the wrist, Mobley and Morrissey first stepped back at the back of the line. Then, in a desperate attempt to escape, the two women slipped under the prison bus.
Dude, I have no
Shockingly,
ammo.
the court officers, not noticing that they were 2 inmates short, kept loading the bus with more prisoners. Oblivious that 2 prisoners were under the bus instead of inside of it, the bus pulled out onto the streets.
I have no ammo. Absolutely none.
A few minutes later, it stopped at a red light when somehow managing to unshackle herself, Morrissey was seen running away from the scene. However, a local private detective who just happened to pass by noticed Morrissey and chased after her. She was eventually captured and handed over to police.
Within seconds of her escape, Meyer walks the defeated captive back to the courthouse. But nobody at the sheriff's office seems to notice they're missing prisoners.
As for Mobley, she was found hiding in the bushes at the side of the freeway. The escape attempt had left her with a broken back, and she was sent to the hospital. After the dust settled, both women were charged with felony escape. While Tracy Mobley and Mary Morrissey risked their lives for freedom, what happens when a defendant casually walks out of court? Like in the case of Joey Watts, who's on trial at the Grant County Courthouse in Arkansas for threatening to kill a woman. Facing charges of aggravated assault and felony possession of a firearm, Watts is seen sitting beside his attorney while the jury went inside to deliberate his case.
I need to
the
find...
prosecutor was chatting with some women while the court clerk seemed busy on her phone. However, with no court officers in sight, Watts got up and casually strolled out of the courtroom.
I have 2 minutes to get through there. Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Once out the door, he coolly went down the stairs.
Oh.
Watts then said something to his family member sitting in the hallway before quickening up his pace and exiting through the main door.
Yeah, fuck it. Where is it? Where's the portal?
As soon as he stepped out, Watts took off. Taking no chances, Watts began to run for his freedom.
He's seen walking down the street and he's gone. All the while, the jury was still in court.
While Watts was busy escaping, back inside the court, the jury found him guilty of all charges.
32,000
Watts'
so
freedom was
far.
short-lived, as he was arrested the next day. Chief Deputy Pete Roberts said Watts was out on bond, which allowed him to walk around the courtroom freely.
That he was not in custody.
Oh
He
shit,
wasn't,
what the fuck?
An inmate or anything that allowed him the freedom to move around throughout the courthouse.
He also said a court officer was not present that day due to a staff shortage.
Dude,
Circuit
what
court's in
the
the process
fuck?
of hiring a new bailiff to prevent that, but they haven't got that done yet.
Eventually, it turned
Tried
out
to
that
kill
2
me.
other people had helped Watts escape,
Fucking
including his brother, who was sitting behind him in the
fucking
courtroom.
game.
As soon as Watts exited the court, his brother
Bitch.
signaled the other guy, and the two got up and left. Ultimately, Watts was sentenced to 36 years in prison, 10 years for the attack, and 26 years for gun possession. While Joey Watts'
Alright, I'll
escape
change this in
seemed
a
pretty
sec.
chill and casual, what happens when an entire family is involved in a breakout? Like in the
I don't know
case
if I
of
should
Dwayne
do
Cheney,
mine.
who's on a murder trial in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. According to reports, 25-year-old Cheney was accused of shooting and killing Michael Prescott in 2015 after the two got into an altercation over a girl. At his trial, Cheney was allowed to walk freely inside the building as he had a GPS tracker attached to his ankle. During a break, CCTV cameras showed Cheney with his girlfriend Zuri London. After a conversation, the two seemed to go their separate ways. Next, Cheney was seen having a deep discussion with his father, Frank Kiles. The two then exited the hallway. Minutes later, London reappeared. She seemed to be talking to someone on her cell phone, and suddenly, London ran because Cheney had already left the building with his father in an attempt to escape. As the father-son duo casually strolled the streets, London joined them. Then a white van pulled up and all three got inside.
I don't know which one.
The driver of the vehicle was later identified to be Cheney's mother, Florigenia. Once inside, Cheney removed his GPS tracker, threw it out of the car, and sped away to his freedom.
Yeah,
or so he thought. Back in court, Cheney's trial continued without him, and eventually he was convicted of murder. 4 days later, U.S. Marshals caught Cheney hiding in a trash can not far from the courthouse. He was slapped with an additional charge of bail jumping. Ultimately, Cheney was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for killing Michael Prescott. As for his escape crew, they were all charged with felony bail jumping as parties to the crime and obstructing an officer. While Dwayne Cheney had an eventful escape attempt, what happens when a loyal friend helps a convict? This is 21-year-old Calvin Finter.
My coworkers worked with the woman that helped them escape and her husband. Oh.
Marking a milestone.
Both subjects escaped.
Oh, I don't know. Truth.
It's been 10 years since 2 convicted killers escaped from Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora, New York.
By definition, it was an extraordinary act.
We estimate they climbed down and had power tools and were able to get out to this facility through tunnels.
Inmates Richard Matt and David Sweat spent months planning the escape.
How did they get the power tools? From who?
Hopefully it's
with help from inside the prison.
I live with regret every day and will for the rest of my life.
The escape through the small community of
my
Dannemora
coworker
into the
works
national
with her
spotlight
and knows her.
Disrupted daily life for those inside
and her husband
and outside the prison walls.
We weren't outside with the kids. We were in the house, locked in the house with them, doing daily activities, trying to just keep their minds busy.
1 out of 7.
Tonight, we're sharing stories of the key players.
He had joked that when I get out, or if I can't even say joked honestly, because to him it was real.
And those who were called to
Whoa,
action.
who is
I
that?
didn't want to shoot anybody. That's the first time in my whole career I had to. But I was not going to let him escape.
To remember the
Reloads
escape
the gun,
and to see
adds
how it's
burn
changed
to
the
the
community.
bullets.
You're watching a special NBC5 News presentation.
Yes!
Escape from
Finally.
Dannemora, 10 years later.
Thanks for joining us as we mark the 10-year anniversary of the escape from Dannemora.
It was June 6, 2015, when officers here at Clinton Correctional Facility discovered 2 convicted killers, Richard Matt and David Sweat, broke out of the prison. The pair cut holes into the walls of their cells, climbed down a catwalk, drilled through tunnels, and climbed out of a steam pipe to make it out. The manhunt lasted nearly 3 weeks, and 2 employees of the prison were convicted and sentenced for their roles in the escape.
During this hour-long special, we'll hear from some of the key players that kept the North Country safe during that time, as well as those who knew Richard Matt and David Sweat well.
We'll also show you what's changed both inside and outside Clinton Correctional since the escape from Dannemora. On June 6, 2015, safety was the #1 concern. Richard Matt
dead.
and David Sweat were both serving sentences for murder.
David Sweat.
Sweat arrived at Clinton Correctional in 2003, a year after the murder of Broome County Sheriff's Deputy Kevin Tarzia. Sweat and an accomplice shot Tarzia several times before running him over with a truck. Richard Matt came to Clinton Correctional in 2008, more than 10 years after the kidnapping, torture, and the murder of his former employer, William Rickerson. Matt was also a flight risk, according to the former New York State Inspector General. He fled to Mexico after Rickerson's murder and had attempted to escape different facilities on at least 3 separate occasions before Dannemora, 2 of which were in New York.
Now, 10 years later, we're getting a better idea about who Richard Matt was. His daughter sits down with us to talk about the relationship that she had with her father leading up to the escape.
I'm Jamie Smith, and I'm the
That's-
daughter of Richard Matt.
It's taken several years.
I feel like growing up with this such a secret, such a skeleton in the closet.
she's married. God damn
You
it.
feel shame.
But Jamie Smith is now embracing her identity as the daughter of the man who
She
was
lives
serving
by me,
life
too.
in prison
I know that.
without parole for the
Or no,
brutal
wait,
murder
yeah.
of his former boss, 76-year-old William Rickerson. That murder happened outside of Buffalo in 1997. Jamie was 9 years
Yep.
old at the time and didn't know anything about her father. She didn't even know his name. That was all about to change.
It was after the murder was committed that my mom had no choice but to tell me something. We had agents at the house and all this hoopla over that. So I'll never forget that. I was 9 years old and she pulled me aside. She said, I got to tell you something about your father. This is what he did. And it was that deer in the headlights. And said, do you have any questions? And I said, "No."
Jesus.
And it was not discussed again for a very long time.
Years passed by. Richard Matt had found himself in trouble with the law again. He fled to Mexico after the Rickerson murder and stabbed a man to death after a bar fight. In 2003, while Matt was serving time in Mexico, a letter
So
came in the
while
mail
it's
addressed to
glowing,
Jamie.
that's
It was
when
from
you
her
do it.
dad.
Okay.
And the letter itself, it was pleading with, please look past the things you know of me, give me a chance, and all the things that were meant to really like tug at your heartstrings. It just didn't. It didn't. I don't know if I already had that wall up. I was kind of pre-trained that we don't really entertain this, we don't discuss it. He did bad things, he's a bad person, So I dismissed it.
But that letter sparked a curiosity in Jamie, so she and a friend headed to the local library where she Googled his name.
I'm seeing literature that was painting him as a monster, an actual monster. So that is how I learned, and that's what I knew of my father, and it was like, how terrifying, for one, but how did I come from this person? How am I a product of somebody who did such horrendous things? It was a very big internal self-struggle for a very long time.
In 2011, another letter came in the mail. This time, things were different. Richard Matt had been extradited to New York to be sentenced for the Rickerson murder and was serving time at Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora. Jamie was a young adult and felt an urge to get to know her father on a personal level.
Yep.
So she
That's
responded.
how things go.
I came to like this person, which in my head was so opposite of what I was supposed to do. I wasn't supposed to engage with him. I wasn't supposed to come to like
Holy
and love
Jesus.
this person as my father. But I did. I have to make up for his wrongdoings. And it's taken, like I said, a really long time to separate myself from the
Okay,
fact
so
that
not-
I didn't do
Oh
these
my
things.
God.
I'm a byproduct of this person, yes. But I didn't
You guys
do
are a
any of
pain
these
right in
things.
my
I'm not
fucking
him.
ass.
From 2011 to 2015, the two wrote hundreds of letters. They're all right here in this binder. His meticulous penmanship articulates his life story as their bond strengthened. Matt had honed his skills
Still
as a
can't-
master oil painter in prison and sent Jamie several pieces of art. He loved painting celebrities and animals. Eventually, Jamie agreed to take the 6-hour drive from Buffalo to Dannemora to meet her dad face to face
So that's not it.
for the first time.
So he came down and we just caught each other's glance, and it was like, holy smokes. We just, we hugged. We were able to hug. I didn't know if that was going to be an option. And we really just caught each other staring more than anything.
Jamie walked away from that first visit with a souvenir that she still wears to this day. Matt dropped this cross necklace in her pocket. It had been his birth mother's, and it was the only thing of value that he had to his name.
He doesn't have much, but the one thing he has, he wanted me to have. Because it was important to him enough to give to me as his daughter.
From there, the letters continued, and so did the visits, where a common theme started to emerge in his rhetoric.
He had joked that, when I get out, or if I can't even say joked, honestly, because to him it was real. To me, I took it as like joking. I'm looking around, I'm like, I know the security I had to go through to get here. You're not getting out of here. There's absolutely no way out of here. It was like standard prison fantasy of every guy that was probably in there. So I did not think remotely anything of him getting out. I'm like, if this was what gets you through every day, tell yourself whatever you have to. So yeah, when that became reality, it was just like, oh boy, he did it. Yeah. He's out.
Our conversation didn't end there.
So I had 24/7 escorts. There was the black, stereotypical black vans parked all by my house. I had surveillance for that whole 3 weeks. And then that Monday, in Monday's mail, a letter came.
Coming up in the second half of this special,
how am I not getting it right?
With Jamie continues
Okay,
about the
right
moments after her father
now?
escaped, how she coped with the aftermath, and the surprise that her father left behind.
During Richard Matt and David
Really?
Sweat's time in prison,
You're
the
dead.
inmates were on a high priority list for the potential to escape. That's according to a retired corrections officer. He says he patrolled the industry building at Clinton Correctional where Matt and Sweat worked. Jeff Dumas retired from Clinton Correctional back in October of 2014 and says at one point it was his job to complete rounds at the infamous tailor shop where Matt, Sweat, and Joyce Mitchell worked. Here's what he recalls of the two inmates.
Interacting with Sweat, he didn't say a whole lot. He kept to himself, very not private, but just quiet. Matt was very kind of arrogant. He always had that kind of like, I don't know how to say it politely. It's like a stupid swagger. Like, what are you doing? You're in prison. What? You don't have any clout here.
Dumas says his interactions with Joyce Mitchell were limited, but he says it appeared that Mitchell tried to listen in on his conversations with the tailor shop corrections officer when he made rounds in the industrial building.
There are still plenty of questions about how Richard Matt and David Sweat managed to pull off their escape from Clinton Correctional Facility. Two people who are still scratching their heads are Clinton County Sheriff Dave Favreau.
God damn it, you're not going to show the people I'm trying to fucking show in the first place.
The two both served our region when the prison break happened, and they helped New York State Police in their pursuit of the escapees. Favreau says that the community's support for law enforcement really stands out to him, while Mulverhill remembers a shocking moment at the end of the manhunt.
But that was a long 3 weeks, very, very little sleep for myself, my staff, all law enforcement, and the community. Yeah. I mean, everybody wanted to get this wrapped up. The weather was not pleasant. There was a lot of, tension that was starting to build, so I was glad to see it over.
I did not talk to David Sweat, but I was there when they unloaded him from the ambulance. I was surprised at his appearance. He was fairly clean shaven. He didn't look like a man that had been on the run for 3 weeks. I was really surprised. I mean, he obviously had a chest wound and was in a lot of pain. But his appearance of how well kept he was took me back a little bit.
Both of those men say this is the most high-profile case they've been on in their law enforcement careers.
By the end of that first day, hundreds of law enforcement agents were called to Dannemora and the surrounding communities.
We had to go through a road stop and get checked by the prison guard.
It's just overwhelming. I think there's stress that was unexpected, so it's almost traumatizing.
They blocked off roads, checked cars and buses, even did a security sweep at the Saranac Central Schools. Our special coverage continues after the break.
Yep. My coworker worked with, the girl that let them free.
Pull this off? Well, we know quite a bit from the Inspector General's report that came out about a year.
They said, or he said, that how they're depicted in the movie is exactly how they are in real life. They're stupid. They're all idiots. So whatever happened to that Bledsoe guy? False prophets and flying objects. The whistleblower wave. I'm sorry, I like this stuff. I just want to see what they're gonna say.
So Matt got Schumer on this like
Maybe
subway thing.
I
And
should
Schumer
just
says, "Look, the people
get
have a right
off
to
and-
know. That's why we're doing this."
You reintroduced your UAPDA. Yes, I did. Why? What's the importance of that?
Gotta let people know the truth, whatever it is.
To suggest it might not be just a rock, it might be an alien craft, that's provocative, but within the range of, hey, we can speculate what it is, we don't know yet. To take it to the next step, it could be hostile, they could be coming here to kill us and invade Earth. Where the hell does that come from?
You fought this other case, and you found and got them to release UAP information from a military base about a cylindrical UAP. I read your article, so tell us all about it.
This is Weaponized. My name is George Knapp, coming to you from the Mojave Desert, Las Vegas, to be specific, joined by my friend and colleague Jeremy Corbell. How you doing,
What's
Jeremy?
this? Demonic weapon.
I'm doing good, man. You're in the Mojave Desert.
The
Still. Is it hot
Whisper.
out there?
A little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. You remember I was having a conversation like a month ago how I was going to take some time off away from the show and other things? Let me tell you how that worked out. My friend Jeremy would not leave me alone the whole month. And I was ready to blame you for it, but I realized you're acting as an agent for the guy who really is cracking the whip, making us work when we were trying to do other things. And that's Michael, our friend behind the scenes, Michael. Am I correct in making that assumption?
Oh yeah, he's our intergalactic handler. He's the creative producer and just producer of Weaponized. We couldn't do this without him. And he's saying, "Hey man, you got to talk about this." It's like he's excited about everything UFO. He gets me.
Yeah, he's
excited.
got UFO disease pretty bad, and it's a good time for it too because there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, you know, I've had a little bit of time on my hands over the past 4 weeks trying to keep up
Anything
with all
happening
the
with
stuff.
this
It's
one?
impossible.
Oh, I
yeah,
just
yeah.
got to kill
So,
more
I mean,
enemies.
This is kind of
All
for
right.
me.
I
This
can
is
do
the
that.
calm before the storm because I know in September, all indications are that we're going to have a great hearing with people with close proximity to craft, what we call first-hand whistleblowers of a certain category. We'll see. I'm not in control of exactly who's chosen, but absolutely kind of bringing in nominations to be vetted and that sort of thing. So that'll happen in September. So this month, I think a lot of people, Congress, but also just people in government, are taking some time to look into the UFO thing. I heard a little bit about that. J.D. Vance said in some podcasts he was obsessed with the UFO issue, and he's going to study it this August. That's great, man. There's a lot to study. So I think we're going to see the results of that.
I don't know what to think. All these intelligence people coming whistleblowing, just don't know what to think.
You're dealing with weapons that would make a hydrogen bomb look like a Tinker Toy. It's the largest criminal, corrupt organization in the history of the earth. Most people have a price.
Yeah.
In either blackmail, threats, or money, or position. I said, sit on it and rotate.
Why are you so controversial?
Just let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish the story. You keep interrupting me, but I will tell you if you'll let me finish. The really high-tech stuff, they slammed into a box. It would liberate every home,
with the
every car,
skulls?
every factory, every country.
Yeah.
Into energy independence, no pollution, and no poverty.
Fuck
Here's a
you.
warning to you money-grubbing whores. It's gonna be open source. So
Shit.
I've been doing this for one hell of a long time, since I was 35. I thought everything that went bump in the night was alien. I did. And it wasn't until I started having people come forward who said, oh, we piloted these.
Let me
and
finish.
Then I had guys come forward who had actually been on the abduction squad, made to
Whoa.
look like aliens.
Whoa.
And they said, oh,
You've
no.
met people who've, like...
committed those crimes.
Wow.
Yeah, and they feel terrible later in life. The folks who know about this, they need to come clean truthfully soon. This is getting very serious right now, whether you're in Congress, the Senate, the public, or someone on your podcast, they need to be arrested and tried for treason and sedition against the United States.
Does that involve storming Area 51 and Dugway and a right pad, or what does this involve? Literally.
This week's long-awaited American Alchemist is Dr. Stephen Greer. Love him or hate him, this medical doctor turned UFO truth seeker has played a big part in modern disclosure that can't be ignored. If you are trying to get closer to the truth, you just can't really throw out his foundational research, the Disclosure Project archive, and his whistleblower testimonies. He's gathered more first-hand UFO witnesses than anyone on the planet, and humanity owes him a debt for that. In my opinion, speaking to Dr. Greer is like panning for gold. If you get past some of his antics, there's a ton of value there. I've been told by people not to do this interview because of those antics. I don't really care for being told who I should and shouldn't speak with. Talking to someone on a podcast is not in any way an endorsement of all of their beliefs, so I decided to sit down with him. The one caveat I will
Not to
include
mention,
here is Dr.
that's the
Greer
whole
goes
point,
after
to
just
have
about
controversial
everybody
guests,
in UFO world
you know,
and hurls
and
out
that
a
too.
ton of ad hominems. If I had tried to perfectly referee all of his accusations, this would have turned into an unintelligible and endless argument about who the bad faith actors are in UFO world. Although I generally
he's a
agree with him,
little-
there are probably many. So instead, I tried to
You
show
know.
appreciation for his incontrovertible contributions to UFO disclosure and to learn what I could from him.
Can be a
so
little
without
much
further
sometimes.
ado or disclaimers, please enjoy
can
this
take 'em in
special
small
long-form
doses.
episode with this week's American Alchemist, Dr. Stephen Greer.
Different parts of the brain have different activities. You know that, don't you?
Maybe you should interview me.
I'm here with Dr. Stephen Greer.
I think-
I'm so excited to
I
do this.
think
This
what
has
it
been
is
long
we're in a
time coming for me
simulation.
because I've explored a lot in
And
the
they
UFO
are
world,
like,
and you
I don't know,
are really responsible
what's the
for
word for it?
a lot of disclosure. I mean, a lot of the
Like,
most
they
of the
stay
whistleblowers
control.
who've come out.
They're like
have had a
control of
touch point
everything.
with you before they've gone public. And so
That's why they
Disclosure
couldn't just-
Project is your kind of organization.
Physics doesn't
you have
seem
an archive with terabytes
mean
of data,
anything to them.
documents that go incredibly deep on the cover-up. You've also made a couple of great movies, Unacknowledged, The Lost Century, about suppressed science.
And the
so-
new one that just came out, The Battle for Disclosure.
and the Battle for Disclosure.
Yeah.
And then you've given me this incredible this briefing
For the president. We cleaned it up.
Okay.
And redacted things.
Okay.
And made it available to the public so everyone can get it now. So you'll have 90+% of what the new president has.
That's pretty awesome. The Disclosure Project briefing document 2025. So have you spoken to
Fucking-
Trump or his team or?
I can't talk about the names, but very senior people relevant to this issue and national security, yes. So as soon as the election happened, even before. So some of his closest advisors and major funders have been on my team and are supportive of this. And some of them that are new to that world, and just to be clear to everyone, I'm nonpartisan. So I've dealt with all the way back to Clinton and the Obama and John Podesta, all the way forward to now. So my institute and the Disclosure Project is completely a nonpartisan, has to be. And not only nonpartisan, it's global, because I do the same thing for Europe, Australia, Great Britain. I was just in Great Britain in September. So we're assiduously, carefully nonpartisan. With that said, this administration, I think the first administration since Bill Clinton tried to fix this problem in his first term is most open to perhaps pursuing it. We'll see.
That would be very exciting. Well, this brings up this kind of perennial question because I think a lot of people associate this topic with the quote-unquote deep state. And they also associate Bill Clinton with the quote-unquote deep state. And so how deep is the deep state that deals with this topic? If you have Bill Clinton kind of knocking on the door of the program and not getting let in, what are we talking about as far as a power structure here?
Well, it's exactly what Eisenhower described when he went out of office in '61. In January of '61, when he left and Jack Kennedy came in. And he said, beware the military-industrial complex. It'll become a threat to our way of life, and excessive secrecy will destroy democracy. I'm paraphrasing, but you can read the speech. The same thing that Jack Kennedy said in a number of speeches. And then we know for a fact, and I know the people who have the actionable intelligence on this, Jack Kennedy was killed over this issue. And the constellation of programs attached to UAPs, and particularly the science and technology branch of it, which we'll get into. That's two big pillars here, keeping it secret. They want people to go out publicly, and we know who they are, who will spin the subject in the direction of being an alien threat for the purpose of a totalitarian superstate uniting the world against aliens, which is a total hoax and nonsense. And that's, you know, it's like the movie Independence Day or The War of the Worlds or whatever. You know, like when Will Smith goes, let's kick alien butt, right? That, you know, that whole script was like out of CIA central scripting casting. Not that Will Smith is, he's a great guy, but it was reached out to us and very interested. But I think that the trajectory of this goes back to the late 50s, probably earlier, but definitely the decapitation of the presidency happened on Eisenhower's watch. And we know that Jackie Gleason knew this, and some people that in my early days as a young doctor when I first started this, I got to know some people who had known Eisenhower. And like one of our whistleblowers way back then, when we kicked off the whole disclosure project effort in the mid-90s, it was called Project Starlight, code name, because we were private. And then it went public in 2001 with the National Press Club that had 800 million people see it. And then 9/11 happened a few months later as a direct consequence, which I don't want to get into that much, but this was going to get blown wide open.
Interesting.
They had to needed a diversion, so they created something called 9/11, and that's been stuck in that world for 20 years. But what's fascinating about this so-called deep state is that it was a carryover out of World War II. And it started when a man who was one of the original founders of CIA, Allen Dulles, it was OSS during World War II. The other thing was a guy named Paul Mellon. And Mellon was one of the few billionaires in the world at the end of World War II. I mean, having billions of dollars in 45? Amazing. So Paul Mellon's grandson, who is John Warner IV, the son of Senator John Warner, I got to know years ago. And he said, look, first time I walked into his house, it's at the Watergate. It's a huge place.
Nice try, motherfucker.
And John Warner IV, not his father, Senator Warner, but John Warner. I walk in, he goes, oh, my whole family are fascists. I went, what? He says, oh, yeah. So his grandfather, Paul Mellon, so Warner, his father had married Paul Mellon's daughter. So it's all very familial. This runs family way back. And he said, yeah, I mean, he was a huge supporter of Adolf Hitler and fascism. So was Henry Ford. So was Watson of IBM. So these were all hardcore. And so was Prescott Bush, George H.W. Bush's dad. They were known to be big supporters of fascism.
They were at like Union Bank, Brown Brothers, Harriman. And
we'll go
Chase Manhattan,
take those guys out.
The whole thing. So that went put into kind of stasis for a few years till we won, I call it the Battle of World War II. And then those people sort of covertly surfaced after World War II.
Well, there's a story of John Warner IV, and he's having martinis, I believe, with Paul Mellon.
That's what I'm talking about. And he admitted this. And he admitted going over and getting a Nazi disc.
That's right.
That was not a ramjet. It was actually electrogravitic.
And my grandfather said, look, you know, we were in a facility, a hangar, and we saw, you know, a German flying disc. And I said, you know, oh, is that the one that was cobbled together with 6 BMW jet engines? And he laughed and he said, no.
Now, some of them are extraterrestrial. I don't use the word alien because people think it's someone from Guatemala or something. But an ETV, an extraterrestrial vehicle, or NHI craft, non-human intelligence craft, that's not what he brought back. It was a Nazi early prototype, but it wasn't stable. It took us from 1945 to 1954 to master what's called gravity control. And I have a man who is a whistleblower, but privately, who is the top scientist at the Naval Research Labs, who has passed away, so I'll say his name is Richard Foch, F-O-C-H. Rick had been in the vault and saw the documents for the date we mastered gravity control. And it was October 1954. So beginning in the late 50s
Why
forward,
do a
many
podcast
of the
with this guy?
UAPs, UFOs, whatever the new fake word is, are using for these things. That's also out of CIA. We'll talk about the word usage and how it's a mind colonization. It's a mind fuck, excuse my language. But to think how these guys think, right? You had to get at their level. And so from there forward, they said they had captured or shot down a couple of ET craft, but they weren't starting from zero. They already had that, right? The Nazi disc. They had the T. Townsend Brown electrogravitics, which became the foundation of RAND Corporation, by the way. And so
How do you, that's interesting because I know Townsend Brown did some experiments in the 60s, right before his work got kind of covertly transferred to Northrop Grumman for the B-2, and he did a presentation for RAND Corporation, and then something happened, and so
but that started in the 20s.
Well, his experiments, yeah.
Okay, so the late 1920s, they were using very high voltage material, resonant frequencies, certain frequencies at very high voltage, but low power. Not a lot of current.
Yeah, low current, yeah.
Low
High
current. If
voltage,
you
low
understand
current.
electromagnetism, and power is, you know, the current times the voltage, right? The fact is that he was able to hit a sweet spot with certain crystalline materials.
High K dielectrics.
Yeah, and that would then levitate.
Yeah.
Float. That was 28, 29. It was reproduced in Germany in the Kautsky-Frost experiment. All this is in, by the way, the Disclosure
didn't know
Project
that.
Intelligence Archive. We've released it all. DPIarchive.com. Is that DPIarchive.com? And so I go, anyone who wants to see it, it's there. If you can read, you'll learn it. But, so that percolated along. So the covert programs with this go way back to the turn of the last century.
Really, guys?
Late 1800s, early 1900s. There are still top secret files on this issue from the late 1800s and early 1900s. We know this.
Wow.
Way back.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it is fascinating.
And how do you know that it goes that far back?
Because one of the very top people since 1979 at the CIA who's worked this issue is an intel source for me.
So what is the secrecy? Because we associate it with the CIA, which was formed in 47. Even OSS was 42 through 45.
Yeah.
So like, if this was like late 19th century, is it Office of Naval Intelligence? Is it secret societies? Is it both? What's up, guys? I want to tell you about my new favorite boots. These things are
But I
epic.
would like to
I've been wearing these
hear
everywhere.
his
They're called Brunt. They're insanely comfortable and
questions,
durable. These
because
things last for
if he
years.
doesn't believe
and they're
in it,
super
then it's
versatile.
great to
I wear
hear
them for
someone
hiking,
else's,
for hanging out. They look pretty swaggy if you're going out. They even look good in work meetings. They feel incredibly comfortable. There's no annoying break-in period. They just kind of form fit to your foot right off the bat. They're lightweight. You don't have to lug them around.
Okay, we got
They're
that
also
one.
super weather resistant,
Fuck
waterproof,
me,
and
man.
durable. Brunt is committed to making sure you're 100% satisfied with your new
I
gear.
better not
With
have
over
the same troubles.
500,000 customers already on board, these boots are the best in the category. Take it from me. Brunt makes the most epic, durable, and comfortable work boots. For a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt by using code Jesse at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com and use code Jesse and you're all set. Even better, Brunt lets you try all their products on the job risk-free. Just go to bruntworkwear.com and use code Jesse for $10 off. Again, that's bruntworkwear.com, code Jesse. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. What are we
No,
talking
it was
about?
again, it was military intelligence and scientists who were under contract, and there were top secret things going on. See, people forget Nikola Tesla, not the fake Tesla cars with a little toy battery you plug in. No, I'm not talking about the fake Tesla. I'm talking about Nikola Tesla. You know, as Einstein was asked, "What's it like being a genius?" And he goes, "I wouldn't know. You should ask Nikola Tesla." See, I think that was the real genius.
That's a good quote.
Of the 20th century.
Him and Townsend Brown, in my opinion.
And, yes, and Faraday, Maxwell, they all had stumbled across this electromagnetic effect. So this is when I say we have 100, the lost century, everyone go see this documentary. It's a documentation of 100 years of lost technologies that are really advanced. And I don't mean the crap out of Silicon Valley. It's just peripheral garbage. You know, iPhones, all that stuff. It's just, that's not high tech. It's none of it. So the really high tech stuff, they've slammed into a box. because it would liberate.
I
this is
mean,
a libertarian's dream.
in a way, he is
it would
right.
liberate.
I mean,
every
it's
home,
just
every
all it
car,
is
every factory, every country,
a small
into energy independence,
screen
no
and
pollution, and no poverty.
and a
But
little
then
toy.
that undercuts this
Yeah.
uber elite oligarchy.
Yeah.
The super powerful.
We haven't
$1 trillion
really-
I'm not talking Elon Musk. A couple $100 billion. Nobody cares about $200 billion.
Yeah.
We're talking hundreds
Dude,
of trillions
what the
of dollars
fuck?
in assets.
Can I say
Why am
where
I always having-
I might
Oh,
disagree
there
with
it
you?
is.
I think we have these novel effects in the black around Townsend Brown, electrogravitics, things like that, extended electrodynamics. And then I'm not so sure. You might be right, but I'm not sure that we have like scalable 0-point energy that could like take out the grid. Do you have high confidence that we have?
I have 100% knowledge of it, and absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely, we have it. And you know what? The CEO of a Fortune 50 company, I'm sorry, chairman, not CEO, who's retired now, has approached us. Well, last year, as soon as he did, he had a Wetworks assassination team threaten to kill him and his entire family and grandchildren.
Wow.
So he's 80 now, but he wants to come forward, and the first thing he said is, we could have had free energy for the world, and he, quote, decades and decades ago. Absolutely true.
Is this company a defense prime, or is it?
I won't comment except it is one of the. It's a household name in the United States.
Wow.
And this is the former chairman.
And he came to you saying,
Yes.
I want to get this out.
Yes, but of course, this is why we'll get to this in a little while. Why some of the executive orders and things in Congress we've been working on provides ironclad protection, not just legal, but physical, like federal marshal protection or Secret Service, to the HVT, high value targets, very high value whistleblowers, because we have several categories of whistleblowers. I have 760 some whistleblowers that I've debriefed. Some of them are at such a high level that they're in serious risk. This is not a conspiracy theory of just being whacked, right, killed, and their families. And we have to protect them. So the president needs to sign an executive order, and the Congress needs to enshrine in law, which they almost did in December of 23, a little over a year ago. But that got gutted in the reconciliation of the National Defense Authorization Act. And the part of it that I had helped consult on for Senate Intelligence Committee, because I've been in the SCIF there and done things for them, that got taken out. And the reconciliation by some devils who are in the House of Representatives. We know who they are. And one of them got removed.
Mike Turner.
He got removed as head of, because I blew the whistle.
I'm sorry?
I said, that guy out.
Well, he
Because
represented.
here's the problem.
Right.
If you are carrying
What?
water for a criminal conspiracy, a transnational corrupt organization, which is what this is, that is committing murder, abductions.
What are those?
Abductions are covert human programs, by the way,
Prisms.
100%. I mean, that's the other big secret nobody knows. Then you're also committing embezzlement of monies, black budget money that's being embezzled, that the president and Congress have no knowledge of. You're murdering people. Take the whole federal
Mark's
penal
chest
code,
and treasures.
throw it
Oh,
at these
okay,
people.
never mind.
So
I don't
where
really
I
give
am
a
at
shit.
this point, because in June I'll be 70. So I've been doing this for one hell of a long time, since I was 35. My view of it at this point is we're going to have to get serious against these criminal elements. But if you're carrying water for them, if you're one of their shills or cutout, whether you're in Congress, the Senate, the public, or someone on your podcast, they need to be arrested and tried for treason and sedition against the United States. I'm going on the record and say that. And this is seriously being discussed. So I'm issuing this as a warning. This chicanery and nonsense, one way or another, is going to come to a screeching halt, because there are people, not just me, I've been saying this for 30 years. You go back and see what I saw in the meetings with the Clinton people back in 95, 93, 94, 95. I briefed the CIA director for Clinton in December 13th of 93.
Wow.
So, I mean, before probably you were born. But the point I'm making is that this is a really huge problem. So even if you're a low-level operative,
15,000.
you're carrying water
Great.
for this messaging, right, and disinforming the public or blocking bills, you are part of a criminal operation. And RICO, Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organization, conspiracy, can be invoked and grab them all up.
Speaking of Clinton, his Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, Chris Mellon, has been responsible for pushing a lot of, disclosure post-2017, this article with Leslie Kean, these videos that have come out, he and Lou Elizondo in the New York Times. How do you square that with Paul Mellon being one of the founders of the CIA?
Because all three of the people you named are being told to tell part of the truth. And the partial truth is actually more damaging than saying nothing. So if you tell people, one, we don't know what these are.
I'm sorry, but I believe Lou.
It's a UAP. We don't know what they are.
Sorry,
more malarkey.
It's full of shit. I believe Louis.
I mean, it's just nonsense. We know what they are. There are extraterrestrial vehicles.
All right, first shot on a tagged
there are
enemy
man-made ones. That's
deals massively increased stun damage.
That's the big secret. And then there are things that are extra-dimensional.
Okay.
They're not from another star system, from another dimension. They're not craft, they're beings. All that gets put into a blender and confused on purpose.
Are there any time
to gaslight. Well, time and space is fungible, right? But let's stay on this for a minute. So if you're told, say this, but then misdirect the public on that, let me tell you how great counterintelligence works. You take truth, put it on the outside like a sweet coating, inside this nice.
Anything new? Anything good? Excuse. What was that game I downloaded not too long ago? Here, I'll just keep playing this.
This little piece of candy is the poison pill. So they'll come out and they'll say, these are real, but we don't know what they are. We don't know how they fly.
You know what?
Big lie.
I'll just go.
Or they'll say they're a threat to the national security. Well, the man-made ones are, because they're running by a transnational criminal organization out of the control of the White House and the Congress.
What is that organization? Do we have a name for it?
Oh, it used to be called Majestic 12.
Not that. Maybe it was no. Maybe it was the other one.
Hi, I'm Vinnie Monroe.
Hello, my name is Chase Lowry.
I am auditioning for a Duke Kane film.
I will do anything for this role.
Action. What's haunting you, Marion?
All of this.
Duke doesn't just make movies. He creates worlds.
He's always watching. Nothing escapes him.
And the way he pushes his actors, he is sculpting them into something bigger than themselves.
There's a party, Vinny, which I'd love for you to attend.
The magnum opus of the great genius Duke Kane.
Vinny, get out of there, please. Just pick up. God damn it.
Magic is cinema is that it lets us peel back the skin, see the marrow of a man.
Don't believe what he says, Vinny.
What he hides.
You're trying to fuck up my career.
What he dreams.
No.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go.